Colin Hanks, you are a national treasure, sir, and you are a friend of my family, but this is a wholly different ball of wax, what we're talking about on Peacock.
Very different.
Okay, here we go. So again, this is a true story, correct?
Yes.
And the true story is, I give you the floor, sir. Because you'll do a better job than me trying to recap it.
How much time do we have?
Whatever you wish.
There's a lot.
I know you've got a heart out at some point later this hour, so you go as you wish.
There's a lot to unpack. It's a true story about the Broberg family that they were in Pocatello, Idaho in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. They befriended another family that moved into town. They were a close-knit Mormon community. And the patriarch of the other family is a master manipulator and predator, and not only groomed their daughter and kidnapped her twice, but also groomed the parents and manipulated them by having relationships, inappropriate relationships with both parents in order to get to the daughter. So it's a very complex story about grooming and manipulation and just, some really, really light stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack.
And the predator played by the actor Jake Lacey, who people know from The White Lotus.
Of course, the amazing Jake Lacey.
He's terrific.
He's fantastic.
In that. And we saw Anna Paquin in as well.
And
quite different than the last time I saw her as Brenda Warner in American Underdog.
That is true.
Different role.
Very true.
I must say.
Maybe a similar hair curl, perhaps.
And then everything else diverges.
Yeah.
And then look at you, man.
Yeah.
Look at you in this role. And you're kind of like, if I didn't know you personally, kind of unrecognizable in your lid there.
It looks like I'm saying, you want me to have this hairstyle for how long?
So let's bring that up, because the last time you were on here was to promote another amazing thing that you were amazing in, The Offer.
Oh, thank you, Pop.
Which, I told you off air and whatever. Spectacular.
Oh,
and you spectacular in it. The fact there were no nominations is outrageous.
Oh,
I can say it.
Keep going.
You sit there. Outrageous.
I love it.
Insane.
Outrageous.
I'll take it.
Okay. But you were here in a very rakish lid that looked great on you.
I appreciate that.
Had no idea, though, it was also quite functional.
Yes.
Because
same jacket, by the way. Which is I'm now realizing same jacket.
I didn't mean to
same outfit.
call you out
no,
like
it's
that.
all, no, I don't care.
It's all right.
I'm nothing
but
if
things are
I'm
all
not
right
consistent.
Things are all right.
I'm consistent.
But there's a reason why. Because you literally shaved your head for this role. Like, now that's, look at you.
Yeah,
that
was the haircut that I was given. There was there were conversations very, very early on as to what the look of the show is going to be like, and I'm playing a real person. Bob Broberg was a person that actually really existed,
yes,
and
sir.
so he had a very distinct hairstyle. And so the conversations were, how do we want to approach this? And I went from a very practical standpoint of said, okay, well, what is going to be the thing that looks best on camera that will be the least amount of time in a hair and makeup trailer? And they said, well, the answer to that is shaving half of your head. And I said, okay, let's do it. And this was the photo that I sent out to everybody the day
that you did it.
I did it.
That's freshly shorn half head.
Yes, and here's what I've learned. If you have not heard from somebody in a long time, if they've ghosted you and they're not returning your phone calls or texts, get one of those hairstyles, zap it to them, and you will hear back from them in under a minute flat. Like right away. I heard back from every single person I texted when I texted him that photo. Yeah.
Now I know this is a loaded question, so I apologize for asking it without clearing it beforehand, but your wife thought what? What did Sam think about this?
She was nonplussed, I think is the word, that I can say on this program. I don't know if this was some other sort of show. Maybe I could use the actual word. She was nonplussed. It's very rare.
Which is bad. It's bad.
It's just the reaction. It was just bad because there's so many facets to it that were unfortunate. The one that I found that was the oddest was that, the hair at the back of my head
Yes.
was not used to being in the front of the class. So it just didn't know what to do or where to go. They're like, we're not used to this. Where do we go? Do we go to the right? Do we go to the left? Or we're just going to go straight up? We're going to go straight up. Like literally.
Full-on revolt.
My hair had no idea what was going on. And inevitably, I just looked like the Heatmeister from, one of those like... one of those Christmas cartoons. I went full claymation. Yeah, there it is.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of like, well, I guess we're doing this. And the weird thing is too, and it's 100% true. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like let's do this. And I sort of was told like, yeah, this is like a galvanizing thing. Like everyone's gonna really, it sets the tone, right? Shave my head, and then within 2 seconds flat, I went, I'm going to be stuck with this for the next 7 months.
Is that how long it was? 7 months?
Yeah. It didn't occur to me that like, yeah, there's the making it easy like in the morning in the hair and makeup trailer, but then there's also
the maintenance.
I'm going to have this haircut when I'm out of work. Do you know what I mean? And so, true story, about 7 days after I filmed that, I went to a restaurant in Atlanta that I had gone to once before.
Yeah.
And they had told me, okay, yeah, all right. Well, we take reservations now. I said, okay, not a problem. I'm literally going to be in 30 minutes. So they're like, all right, we need your credit card for the reservation. I said, okay, not a problem. Why do you need the credit card? Well, we're going to charge you in case you don't show. Okay, I'm coming anyway. It's not a problem. Mm-hmm. And there's a dress code. I said, what's the dress code? And they said, basically just, no athletic gear, no sweats. I said, great, no problem. I show up in this jacket and a baseball hat, and they go, okay, sorry, you have to take the hat off.
Get out of here.
And I went, excuse me? And she said, I told you no athletic wear. And I said, you said no sweats.
Yes.
And she said, you're wearing a baseball hat. And so I had to sit in a restaurant, and thank goodness they put me in the corner of the restaurant. It was like Blair Witch. I was just sitting in the corner of the restaurant, just hate eating this food, just going like, I am never coming back here again, ever.
I thought the punchline of this story would be, okay, you can wear the hat.
No.
Because there are other patrons.
No. They said, you can't wear it, sorry.
So you had to promote the offer, like go to premieres and whatever for this Dynamite A-list program, wearing this lid and all that sort
wearing
of stuff.
that hat. And now that hat, by the way,
yes, sir.
Here's what I've learned. That hat in London, that's a totally different vibe.
Oh, of course.
In London, I'm a gentleman. When I wear it here in the U.S., I look like the dancer for the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. It is not the same.
Which is okay, though.
Which is fine. I love the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones.
Never had to, knock on wood.
I'm not knocking that. Okay. I'm not knocking it in the slightest.
I know someone who has.
You never know when you might have to provide the music for the 1997 ESPYs. You never know.
It just looks very circa 1997. Like, it was a little spot on.
So everyone must see a friend of the family.
Yes.
Just to know how much work went into it and sacrifice for your craft.
All of that. And you want to know what my dad calls it now?
What?
The neighbor next door show. All that hard work. He goes, hey, you're crushing it on this neighbor next door show.
Do you tell him it's what the name of it is?
Yeah, I told him that's what I'm calling it from now on. The neighbor next door show.
What do you think of your hair? What do you think of that?
He thought it was hilarious.
Well, you're committing to the craft.
Oh, I mean, he was one I always heard back from very quickly whenever I would send him photos and videos all the time, and he was just never prepared for it. He was never prepared.
Was he ghosting you and you got a response?
No. I heard back from him. In fact, I would get videos of him that would just be him laughing. Like, I'm talking like that money pit laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Money pit laugh.
It was that laugh.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of that.
Fantastic. Colin Hanks here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's talk a little sports here.
Yeah.
You're one of the sweetest guys I know, and I set this up by saying this. How much pleasure have you taken in the Dodgers' demise as a Giants fan? I mean, like on a scale of 1 to whatever your number you're thinking right now.
I mean, this one goes to 11, and
Like
let's just say it goes out of 10. Yeah, scale of 1 to 10, this one definitely goes to 11. Yeah, a lot of joy. I mean, look, I will say this. Definitely, I'm much more upset at the season that my San Francisco Giants had.
But if you're going to have a season like
that.
that.
But if I'm going to have that kind of season to then watch essentially Jim Dodgers, as I like to refer to the Padres, or at least when they had those blue and white uniforms, Jim Dodgers. They look like the Dodgers twins. I really enjoyed seeing the Dodgers go down the way that they did. But look, here's the one thing I will definitely say, like across the board, all of these playoff games have been so fantastic, and the atmosphere has been. I mean, it really does feel like everyone's waited 2.5, 3 years for like playoff baseball atmosphere. Like everybody's just going absolutely just bonk.
And the Padres to do that to the Dodgers too.
I just love it.
Phillies to do it to the Braves is just that's fan base dream type stuff. You
Absolutely.
know? The Guardians to do it to the Yankees if they do it today. I'm sure those folks in Cleveland would, out of all the teams that they could pick, they'd probably pick the Yankees right there.
But that environment, watching the Dodgers crumble on the road like that, I
love it, right?
I never tire of
Fill
that.
the tears right into your mug.
I never tire of that. Just fill all of Chavez Ravine with tears of Dodger fans.
And then what a better way to promote the Willie Mays documentary that you are a part of, sir.
See, this is why you are the national treasure with your transitions and whatnots and so forth.
Debut Tuesday, November 8th, 9 Eastern on HBO, available to stream on HBO Max. Say hey, Willie Mays, you're one of the producers on the project. I mean, walk me through how this got started, what you did.
Well, my partner Sean Stewart and I, we make documentaries, and we made a documentary about the Crazy Crab, which is the San Francisco Giants mascot many moons ago, and we've always sort of looked at Willie Mays as being sort of the story to tell from a Giants perspective.
Yes.
If there is anybody whose story has not been told yet, Willie was the one. He's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. And there's an entire generation of baseball fans that never got to see him play, myself included, who don't know really just how important he was to the sport, how dominant he was in the sport, but also just how much of American culture he represented it in his time and place. And so we tried very, very hard for many, many years to be able to tell his story. And eventually he said yes. And so we got to go up to San Francisco and meet with him and sort of chat with him, talk with him before a game there at his suite at Pac Bell, which I still call it Pac Bell.
Yes.
And he agreed. And so Nelson George, who's an incredibly talented filmmaker, he directed the documentary. And it's really, it's Willie's story. It's Willie's story of him coming up in baseball and just what a force he was. Not only in the game, but what a force he was for style, for the culture, both in New York and San Francisco. While he was playing.
So at some point, you were part of the process, or Sean Stewart was part of the process to get him to say okay.
We nurtured it.
He had to get comfortable with you.
Yeah. Well, we really sort of planted the seed very, very early on, but that we would very much love to be able to be a part of telling his story. And it took a long time, and the people over at Spring Hill, which is LeBron James's production company, they came on board because they also saw the potential in the story. And I think those two things, in combination, I felt probably put us over the edge. And so we then met with him and sort of gave him reassurances and whatnot. And Nelson is such a talented, great guy that I think Willie just looked at Nelson and said, like, all right, kid, like, go for it.
And I also saw on your Instagram you're doing a John Candy doc too. That's your next one.
That was the
you and Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan approached me about directing a documentary about John Candy.
You're directing it.
Yeah, that one's. Yeah, I'm gonna go back for that one. Yeah.
Great is that?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited with that one.
You're gonna Moranis? Who are you gonna?
We're gonna try and get
Steve Martin?
Yeah, we're gonna try and get everybody. Yeah, I mean, John, it was such a unique individual.
Mel Brooks, you gotta sit him down, man.
Listen,
come on.
Can I borrow your camera? Can we go down right now?
I mean, Spaceballs. Let's talk about Spaceballs.
But John was just such a special individual and really, truly holds such a unique position within sort of the American zeitgeist and pop culture and comedy and film history that it just sort of seemed like a no-brainer. And honestly, when Ryan Reynolds says hey, you should do this, you just go, yeah. And that's how some guys end up with Welsh football clubs, and that's how I end up with
exactly. Like a little Wrexham in there.
But yeah, I'm really very excited.
That is so.
It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna go deep candy on you here.
Please.
Okay? There was a movie that I and the rest of my high school friends loved. We watched it about 100 times, called Going Berserk.
Going Berserk.
If you know, I'm telling the director of the John Candy documentary. It's called Going Berserk, and it was Eugene Levy was in it, and all the SCTV folks were in it, and it was stupid and dumb, but man, did we watch the hell out of that thing. And would you look it up? Did Carl Reiner direct that? I don't know if he did, but I know Carl Reiner directed.
David Steinberg directed.
It.
Okay.
So he's another guy you could sit down with, right?
Well,
and I think Carl Reiner did Summer Rental with him and stuff
of
like
course.
that.
Yeah, Summer Rental.
And so.
Who's Harry Crumb was the big dumb one that I watched a million times. Yeah. I watched that movie about a bazillion times on cable TV.
And you got to sit down with Turtle Taub, right, for a little bit of the cool runnings.
Absolutely love nothing more than to sit with John Turtletaub for hours and hours.
He gave
and
me my
hours.
first ever movie credit.
That's how we met.
And Disney's the Kid.
He
took me. That's right.
And you were his +1 for a movie premiere, and we met in.
Yes.
We met in. Well,
That's
we
right.
met in the bathroom, but that
These are things that are offline, Colin.
That's true. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So that shouldn't be in the documentary or on your show. Okay. Good to know. Can we go back to my hair just to get us back to the subject? No, I'm just trying to get us off that subject.
Are you keeping it?
No, I'm desperately trying to grow this in.
To go back out?
I'm throwing chia seed on this just to see if I can get this to grow any faster. I will pay good money if anyone in a pottery class just makes a little clay sculpture of my face, just so that we could make like a de facto chia head out of it.
It looks good on you, though. I got to be honest.
I appreciate that. The amount of people that told me that I was very lucky that I had a good shaped head.
Yes.
Talk about
important.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm really glad I lucked out.
It is important. Hey, look at you.
It's important.
Look at him.
Look at him.
It's important.
See,
if he grew, by the way, if he grew his hair in, he would look like your character. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You got the full horseshoe going on.
I would look worse.
I'm telling you, Halloween though, Halloween's coming up right now. You could be the only person dressed up as Bob Broberg for Halloween. I say go for
Deep
it.
Cut. For you, anything.
It's a deep cut. And how's the Hanks kerchiefs business going for you?
Good. We're plugging away, man. HanksKerchiefs.com. Get one when you need one. You're always going to be grateful for it. Yeah, it's going great. We've been busy coming up with some new designs and coming up with some fun ways of selling them. So it's always a good way to spend a portion of my day instead of talking about wearing makeup and pretending to be other people. To actually work on something physical that I can
Fantastic.
actually.
And again, I'll say it again. The Offer is truly one of the greatest things you've done, and that's saying a lot.
It was great.
You saw it too? TJ saw it too?
I was the first one who told you. I was like, Colin, you are so unlikable.
He did.
It's great.
The last time I was here, he basically just said, "Man, I hate you."
Right. Well, then
not you.
No spoiler.
No. I know.
Not you. I love you.
Spoiler alert. I mean, you got to watch all the way to the end.
I know.
You got to watch all the way.
He
to
redeems
the end.
himself.
Watch all the way to the end.
But I'm telling you, tell Tufo, you being Mr. Godfather over there, you've got to see this.
I know, and I have to get time. To sit. Everyone I said is amazing. It
is amazing. It is
Everyone
truly great. And I think, did you know, I don't know if I told you this or not, but Susie and I binged it. And we were so upset it was over. Remember, I texted you. I'm like, please tell me there's more. And you're like, I don't know if there's going to be the making of Godfather Part 2.
You were pitching me what about Apocalypse Now? That's right. There's all these other ones we can go.
Let's keep going. There's got to be ways to keep this thing going. And so you're like, yeah, I don't think so. And so we, on the flight back, because we were able to get away to Europe over the summer, on the way back, the flight did have Godfather 1 and 2, and we watched them together.
Very nice.
Back to back, because we were so, locked in on the whole subject matter.
Did I tell you about the first time I saw it? It was actually like a different cut where it was told in chronological order.
What, The Offer?
No. The Godfather.
The Godfather.
Oh, yes, and they mix it up. They mix it all together.
Yeah, when I first watched it, it was they start off in Godfather Part 2, and you see Don Corleone come to America and all that sort of stuff, and then you get into the Godfather Part 1.
How is it like that?
Me personally, like in an interesting way to view it, but I think Godfather 2 is so special because of the way that it's cut, because it jumps forward and backwards in time like that.
Beautiful.
That it sort of makes it adds a little bit more to it. So to see it that way, but. And again, I was 13. I was still just like, what's going on?
Because Zan, my 14-year-old, wants to see The Godfather for the first time, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if you look at horses the same way again.
Well, the horse thing, yeah, maybe not. But
toll booths.
But don't underestimate just the pace. I think
it's
the pace is they're just going to be like, what is going on?
I know, certainly to a TikTok generation.
All
it's
day
like,
long with this. What is happening? Okay.
I get about the whole family thing.
Gosh, we get it. Could be. I'm not saying that's how Zan's going to approach it. Right. I'm just saying.
And I just love the fact that, I did not know, the offer taught me that the reason why Al Ruddy, the famed producer of Godfather, did not do Godfather Part 2 is he wanted to do The Longest Yard.
Because he had promised Burt Reynolds that he was going to do it. That was really the thing. Al Ruddy had given his word that he was going to go make that movie.
And you never go back on your word.
And he never goes back on his
Clearly.
word. Yeah.
I had no idea about that. Yeah. You got to see it. It's truly amazing. You're great.
No, now I'm thinking about Burt Reynolds in The Godfather and what part he would play.
Nope. I don't think so either.
Would he have been a better...
He'd have been Mo Green.
Godfather epic is what you were talking
chewing
about.
Gum.
Can you imagine he's just on that bare rug, just chewing on an orange somehow, just about to die. Just,
laughing.
Just hairy chest.
Really
just
odd
like
that the Corleone mom would be Sally Field. It's really weird. Really weird. Really weird. Check out, by the way, those on Roku, Paramount Plus is right here. You should check out the offer. It's amazing. And check out on Peacock, A Friend of the Family, streaming right now every Thursday, new episodes all the way through to November 10th. And then November 8th is when the documentary Say Hey Willie Mays appears on HBO, available on HBO Max. Everyone check out hankskerchiefs.com to go check out this man's great product. You're awesome.
Not as awesome as you are, Rich.
Right back
Thank
at
you
you.
so
Good
much.
to see you.